right. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday. This is Grace and Gossip, where we have conversation with a little bit of sophistication, a little bit of elegance, but we still talk about the hot topics. We still get into the juiciness, and today's conversation is definitely going to fit that. But first of all, I just want to welcome you guys in. I missed last week because I had an emergency, and so I just want to make sure I talk to the people and find out what's going on from everyone. Hey, Nicola, thank you for being here. Bright and early hip hop inquirer. Whoa, what do we owe this honor for the one and only Dennis Byron to be in the building? Thank you, D Brown. You guys, so today is Monday. So I am Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I am 5 days into being locked. I am 5 days into my locks. Finally broke down and did it. You guys know me. I had been thinking about doing sister locks for a long time. I had 3 consultations on sister locks and decided that I just wasn't sure about the sister lock, but I love them. And so I ended up going with micro locks instead of sister locks. Very, very similar. Still gave me the flexibility that I wanted, but I'm not going to lie. I was kind of nervous because this is a huge change for me. Huge change. But this is a very big year for me. And so I have been making changes. And I will tell you guys, so it took 3 days for Jess to install them. My loctician is amazing. I had my consultation back in September, and she was so booked up that I could not get in until February 18th. So that day was on my calendar. Thank you, private person. Thank you guys, because I was nervous. I started thinking about locking my hair in 2018. 2019, I had tester locks for sister locks put in by an amazing loctician. And I went to sleep. I had a dream that I didn't like it when I woke up, and I just like freaked out. I cut the tester locks out. It was done. And then I actually decided to do it again. And a girlfriend of mine and I decided to do it on the same day. So we signed up. I was going to go back to this lady, signed up, and paid my deposit. And then my girlfriend went to hers. She was going to someone else because she wanted more traditional locks. I wanted the sister locks. So she went to her appointment. I chickened out again, y'all. Then I went a third time. I had 3 sets of tester locks put in with sister locks, and every single time just didn't do it. Just did not go through with it. My husband was over me at that point because I started it before I even met him. So anyway, I saw Jess online. And I reached out to her and I was like, I love what you did and how I see the outcome look. And you guys know, these are real locks. I locked my hair. Last Tuesday, February 18th. And these are micro locks. And I decided to do it. I paid a really big deposit so I wouldn't freak out this time. And I kind of gave myself from September to February to get used to it. But I just was kind of over being, I guess what they call like a loose natural. Like my hair has always been like a really big part of my life. That's why I made a video just kind of showing my hair journey. But one thing I realized I left out of that hair journey is that I started to experiment with wearing my hair natural. And so as opposed to like pressing it out, just like washing it, putting product in it and leaving it natural. And I learned because, I grew up like most of us did, pressing your hair all the time, not wanting it to be in its natural state. And I never even knew what my hair looked like or felt like without either being pressed to death or, when I was little, my mom made me wear braids. I couldn't get a relaxer until I was in high school. Actually, until I think my senior year of high school, she let me put a relaxer on my hair. Got a relaxer on my hair. So before that, I just was walking around with puffy hair. So she'll press it maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks. And then the humidity in Tulsa, Oklahoma would make my hair puff up. I was the only one walking around with puffy hair in high school. Everybody else had pressed out, or relaxed hair. So when I finally got a relaxer, I just started doing it every, you get a relaxer every 6 weeks. As soon as there's new growth, you just automatically, put a perm on that hair. And it wasn't until I got to Atlanta and met women that were like, returning to their natural, embracing their natural texture. And I had a hairstylist that became one of my really good friends. Her name was Hillary. And she was like, you don't need to relax for your hair. And I was like, girl, what? Yes, I do. And she said, no, you don't. You can get your hair straight just by blow drying it. And I don't even have to really, put a flat iron on it. I can, but I can dry your hair and get it straight. So she did that. She showed me a couple times. And so when I tell you guys, I fell in love with the natural feel of my hair. When you feel your hair growing out of the scalp, and as opposed to like getting anxious when it starts to curl up, you realize that's what it's supposed to feel like. Because every time I would feel it curl up before, I would immediately put a perm on it and kill it. And so when I started feeling how my hair felt alive, I just fell in love with it. And so eventually I let her cut all the relaxer out, and my hair probably was like right here, a little longer than chin length, when I cut it out. And I just love the feel of my hair. It felt thicker. It felt more alive. That's the only way I can describe it. Like it had volumes and weight to it. The relaxer just killed my hair. And so anyway, that was that. I did that early, like 2008, 2009. And then I started wearing my hair natural. Then I realized, like, okay, there's not much I can do here because it doesn't stay straight. I can get it straight, but I can't stay straight. Anyway, those of you who get it, I know this is a whole grace and gossip about Christal's hair, but it's just a hair journey that I think most of us have gone through at some point, as a Black woman. You try to figure out, okay, how should I wear my hair? When I worked in corporate, I was going every week to the salon, getting it doobie wrap. Does anybody remember those? I would sit under the dryer, and my hair was always really thick. And so I'd be under the dryer for like 2.5, 3 hours. And sometimes it still wasn't dry. And if you come out without it dry, it's not going to do right. So she would straighten it, wash it, roll it up on these rollers, sit on the dryer, and then wrap it around your head, and then set this plastic wrap on your hair. And then it just falls into place. It's really pretty, but it was just every week, every Saturday morning for 4 to 5 hours. It was just a lot. I hated going to the beauty salon. So I moved to Atlanta. I started wearing weave. And then I was like, oh, this is great. I had never worn weave until I got to Atlanta. I got to Atlanta and I became a weave queen. I had weaves, I had sew-ins, I had all this stuff. And I enjoyed it. I was in entertainment. So that's really what the culture was. Everybody I was around had a weave or a sew-in. And then eventually it got to be wigs. And then I would have these, it's fun to play dress up, but I just started saying, like, I don't necessarily want to always have on something that's not mine. At this point in my life, as a seasoned woman, right, I just wanted to kind of be Christal. And so that's how I started to kind of think about sister locks, but I also still wanted to look like Christal. And I knew that the traditional locks just wasn't necessarily for me. I wanted more flexibility, right, with my hair, and to be able to do the things that I like to do with my hair. So I decided to do a friend of mine, the friend that actually had gotten the locks. I'm really lucky that she didn't like kick me to the curb, because we were supposed to do it together. And I literally chickened out. I chickened out. She got hers, her hair locked immediately, and it was gorgeous. Gorgeous. I mean, her hair, I was so jealous. Her name is Melissa, and she's one of my good friends I talk about a lot on here. But she locked her hair, and we were supposed to do it together. Her hair was beautiful. And then I was sitting there like, dang it, I should have did it. And she loved it. She loved it. But anyway, finally, from 2018 to 2025, I finally did it. I went to bed the first night and I was just like, what did I do? What did I do? But I did, my hair wasn't relaxed or anything. So I just had my natural hair, micro-locked. And so I'm still getting used to it. I braided up, and it actually, like, I guess was long enough to like kind of give me a little bit of style a little bit, but there still has a long way to go. I'm not really sure what to expect. People keep telling me it's a journey. But I like the fact that I can get up in the morning and just take the plaits out, and then I don't have to do anything else to my hair at all. I don't have to worry if I sweat. I can work out. I don't have to do anything to my hair. And I think I spent a lot of my life worried about my hair. I'm a little nervous, D Brown, when you say it's going to go through so many stages. I'm a little nervous about these stages. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm a little nervous about these stages. What exactly is going to happen? The biggest thing, I'll be honest with you all, is just feeling like touching your hair and it not feeling like your hair. It doesn't, when you get your hair pressed out. I got my hair pressed out a couple of weeks ago, and it just feels, it's silky. You bring your hands through it. That is not how this feels. So I'm not really used to that, but I'm getting used to it. But I do like the fact, number one, like I said, I can just braid my hair up at night. I can get up in the morning and I can go. And that's kind of where I'm at in my life. I don't want to be like worried. And I don't want no more bundles. I don't want no more wigs. I don't want no more sew-ins. I don't want no microlinks. I just want to be Christal at this point. And I think whatever works for you is what you should do. But for me, I like this feeling of just being me. Thank you, Debra. I'm a little concerned, so we'll see what happens. I'll be here. You guys are kind of on this journey with me. So we got the hair locked. I think Miss Girl is having puppies. So yeah, you see how she's just knocked out sleep. We got puppies on the way. She has her first prenatal exam on Saturday. Jesus help us. My life. And you know what? It's a good thing today. Before I get into the grace and the gossip, those of you that watch this channel a lot, my mother moved in with me in October. And then my son had an accident in her car. New Year's Day. Yeah, New Year's Day. He stayed overnight, so he didn't drive on New Year's Eve, and then had an accident that morning, New Year's Day. So my mom hasn't had a car since then. They totaled out her car. And so we've been looking for a car. We have been looking. We have been looking. And she was like, no, I don't want that car. I don't want this car. And I was like, ooh, Lord, when we make this lady a car so she can, I don't want to feel like she has to rely on me. Today, we got my mom the cutest car. She's so happy. It made me so happy to see her so happy. So it's a good day. I got locks. My mom got a new car. And Sugar Pie, hopefully, is healthy. The puppies are healthy, okay? With that said, let's get into a little grace and a little gossip. You guys let me know. Let me know what you're thinking about what we're talking about. As you guys know, this is always an interactive chat. So I think the first thing I want to talk about is, and I don't necessarily have the pictures on this, but I know those of you who watch know. If you know, you know. I got to talk about Real Housewives of Potomac. Last night was, every season there's always something that happens and you think things cannot get worse. And they do. They always do. And this season, to me, I know I've talked about Mia Thornton or Mia, whatever Mia is. I don't really know what Mia, I don't know like where the truth starts and where the lies and the truth starts is difficult to know with Mia. So I don't even pretend to believe anything that comes out of her mouth. But last night she was confronted about this ridiculous like threesome that she's created with her husband, her estranged husband, Gordon, and then her high school sweetheart turned new lover, Inc., and her children. So if you guys haven't been watching this season, Mia was married to Gordon. Mia was an exotic dancer a long time ago. One of her patrons was very, you know, uh, philanthropic, if you will. And so she ended up marrying him. He ended up saving her, and she married him, and they had 2 children. Now, I think they are around 26 years apart, over 20 years apart in age. So, and that's what Mia has told us. We really don't know. I don't really believe much of what Mia says. So I don't even know what her age or anything is. But according to Mia, they got married, but she and her ex-boyfriend, Ink, had been together. Now, a lot of things happened once Mia was introduced to Potomac in the 6th season. Mia and Gordon supposedly had all these joint chiropractic centers. They had all this money. All of that money was stripped away by his family, who allegedly felt like there was some fraudulent activities, right? So they go through losing their fancy digs. It is a lot of confusion, D. Just trying to keep up here. There's a lot of confusion. Lost the fancy digs, got a small apartment, and then, as women who marry older men for their money do, when the money dries up, the honey dries up, right? We know that. The money dries up, the honey dries up, and the woman starts looking for out. So Mia decides she can't take it anymore. She has to get out. Conveniently, she has to get out after the money is gone, where most of the money is gone. And she tells everyone that Gordon has had mental health issues and she's been dealing with them forever and it's just too much. And then she announces she's back with her ex-boyfriend from high school. And then, okay, Drew, thank you, Druzy. So Druzy said, according to Google, there are 30 years between them. Again, I knew there's somewhere between 27 and 30. We don't really know if Mia is really the age that her Wikipedia says she is or not. I don't really trust anything about Mia. So anyway, they get married. She tells the money's gone, the honey's gone. She tells everyone that Gordon has been suffering with mental illness. And he comes out and says that he has bipolar disorder. So she decides she's going to get divorced. And then all of a sudden she starts this torrid public romance with her ex named Ink. Now, Ink is conveniently a radio personality in Columbus, Georgia, which is where Mia went to high school. Okay. Now, everything would have been, to me, like, I'm from the old school, I guess, to where if you're still married, you don't publicly have another relationship. That's weird. You just announced you were getting divorced and now you're in a public relationship where you guys are, publicly showing your love. You move in with him with the 2 children that you have with Gordon, which, by the way, Mia has another 16-year-old child that lives with his father. Interesting. So she moves in Ink, and then Gordon lives in the same apartment building, but in another apartment. And then she has Ink and Gordon like around each other. It was really disgusting, but it got even worse because then Mia decided to share that the paternity of her son, Ink decided he wanted a paternity test. After all these years, the son, I think, is around 11. After all this time, Ink wants a paternity test. Why now? Why now? But you know why? Because the money has dried up. When the money dries up, the honey dries up. And people try to take their kids and do all that. So Mia puts this story out that Ink wants to know the paternity of his child. He thinks it's his child. And it sets the entire season in topsy-turvy. Now, the rest of the ladies, who are always here for some good gossip, but they're just kind of like, at this point, like, Mia, this is a child. This is your child that you are making into this exaggerated storyline. Like, so last night at the reunion, Giselle actually held Mia accountable for creating this storyline. Even if she did think that there was a question in the paternity, why would you bring it to the show? Why would you bring it to the public? Why would you do that when you're a child? And she said her children aren't allowed on social media. In what world are 11-year-olds not on social media or don't have any access? She also claims that her children are privately homeschooled. Them kids are talking to somebody because Mia's not with them all the time because she's filming. We just saw that Mia was away in Panama with the ladies and the kids were with Gordon at Martha's Vineyard. You think there's no social media access there? Girl, bye. So I just want to big up Giselle for keeping Mia accountable and just saying, calling a spade a spade. Even the new ladies, Kierna and Stacy, which we're going to talk about in a second, even they were like, Mia, your stories don't make any sense, and this is just not cool. Giselle told Mia's like, you're acting like I'm a bad mother, and Giselle said, have been that of a bad mother. Anyone that would do this to their children is acting like a bad mother. To which Mia got up and self-righteously walked out, which is crazy to me because it's like, girl, if you're gonna talk all this mess, she tried to talk about Giselle this year and mentioned that Giselle's daughters, who were, honor roll students and always, on their way to college. She has 3 daughters. They're all in college. I think Mia's just jealous because for her to bring up the fact that Giselle's daughter snuck a boy in. First of all, the fact that Mia, the one that was a exotic dancer that married a patron and then had 3, like, girl, you, if anything, Giselle needs to keep her daughters away from you because you are a bad influence. Like, not that they would even be influenced by the likes of Mia, but I'm just saying, like, how dare Mia talk about someone's daughters doing something that we all are aware she was doing? Crazy. But Giselle got her together, and I think every reunion we see Giselle kind of, Giselle's usually quiet and usually doesn't get messy, but I think she's just over me. I think everybody is over Mia, even Kay, who is new, and I think she's the most beautiful woman on the stage. She's just so pretty to me. She was just like, Mia, this doesn't make any sense. Mia's friend Jacqueline was there. Jacqueline said, well, I know Mia embellishes, but I don't know her to blatantly lie. But the way Mia was looking at her to make sure Jacqueline didn't say anything else, let us know that Mia's like, I'm the reason you're on this show. You're not going to show me up. It was just ridiculous. But shouts out to Giselle for holding Mia accountable, even more so than Andy Cohen. But the fact that Mia got up and walked out as if she was just overcome with grief from this foolish storyline that you created that could hurt your child was sickening to me. Also, we didn't talk about Stacy. Stacy comes off as a liar as well, which is crazy because Stacy, hey Marvin, Stacy has this energy that's very like Stepford wife-ish to me. She looks like a Barbie, right? She was a QVC spokesmodel, and she acts like she's just prim and proper, which is what I really like about Potomac because sometimes the ghetto-ness of the other shows are just a little too much for me. So I prefer the prim and proper ladies of Potomac. However, Stacy is not really that. So she puts on this great front, but Stacy is from Detroit. And for myself being from Toledo, just a few minutes from Detroit, I know what that is. It's not prim and proper. And so we saw Stacy acknowledge that, well, first of all, she got upset because a designer, put her in a dress that she had designed for Ashley. The lady clapped back with some amazing tea, basically saying Stacy brought the dress back funky. She did not clean it, which is really lowbrow. Like, if you have a stylist or designer that lets you borrow clothing or lets you wear clothing to promote their brand, how dare you not take it by a dry cleaners? Like, that's just ridiculous. But she also said that Stacy basically recanted everything that was said. Stacy said that she felt like the woman put her in Ashley's dress on purpose to make her look bad, and she was elevating. It was just ridiculous. It was ridiculous and showed Stacy's delusion. But even more important than that, Stacy's guy, TJ, who we've all been looking at like, what is happening here? He is supposedly a Christian and is celibate, and that's why Stacy said they were not intimate. However, the tea that has come out The tea that is spilled. Yes, indeed, sugar pie. Indeed. The tea that has spilled suggests that not only TJ and Stacey are not together, not because of him being a Christian and the fact that she was up until now was still married. She said that she was officially divorced, but that he really wasn't into her like that, and she was actually paying him to be her love interest on the show. Stacey. It appears that Stacey is going to be great for Housewife after all, because she called, she said F that B to the lady that made the dress because she was mad that she put her in a dress that Ashley wore, and then took the dress back funky, and then wasn't grateful and didn't do what she was supposed to do to live up to her end of the deal. But then she's paying a man, paying a gentleman to be your love interest. Girl, and she's a gorgeous woman. Like, I don't even know why she would do that. And he wasn't even a good look. He wasn't even a good look. And yes, they did allude to Kenya and Walter, but and that's a legend. Sugar pie, no. Sugar pie, get back in your bed, mama. Sugar pie, get back in your bed. Okay, all right, mama, get back into bed. All right. There we go. Okay. Allegedly, Kenya paid Walter off. I don't know. But Stacey, first of all, that was from Housewives early 2000s. So surely people know you can't do stuff like that now. Surely Stacey knew that was going to come out. And it didn't even come out from a crazy way. He told Eddie. He told Wendy's husband, Eddie, aka Happy Eddie. Crazy madness. And so we're going to see this fall apart. Stacey has had an unveiling of her persona crumbling in front of her very eyes. Very tough first season. Very tough introductory season for our girl Stacey Rush. But I think that it'll probably make her that much more, exciting, and people really tune into her on the Housewives. Anyway, I am interested in seeing this, but I really don't. Mia, I think, lies so much she should be penalized. And I hope Andy does hold her accountable. I think with the Grand Dame and her lies and them letting go of Robin for her not being transparent, I feel like it is only fair that everyone be held to the same standard. And so I think that Mia should be penalized for the fact that she continues telling ridiculous lies. She told lies about Gordon and her business. She told, and then last night she mentioned that her son Jeremiah was conceived during IVF. So if you conceived a child during IVF, why is the paternity in question? Was that just something that you said to be like, what is wrong? Like, at this point, is she mental? Is she the one with the mental illness? I would think that. I really believe that she would be the one with the mental illness. And I think that Mia needs to be held accountable. I don't know if being held accountable is being thrown off the show, or it's just being reduced, having her role reduced. But you shouldn't be able to just outright lie and that be okay. Like, that's definitely sending the wrong message to new and upcoming housewives, right? I would think, like, you can't just lie. You can't just pay people to date you. Like, that's strange. Hey, Edna, welcome, Edna. Welcome our girl Edna on in. And yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to kind of touch on that. I'm really irritated with Mia. I'm surprised by Stacey. Kierna Kay, I like her a lot. I think, like I said, I just think she's gorgeous. I don't really know what to think about her guy. I actually prefer, like, when women come on these shows and their man is not really into filming, I tend to think that he's really a better person, because anybody whose husband is excited to be on camera and who wants all the fame and all the attention, that's usually going to be a red flag later. That's usually gonna show up if you have a man that's a little too interested in being a housewife. That's usually going to be a bad sign. So the fact that Kay's boyfriend and I think she's hoping moves quickly towards being a fiance. The fact that he doesn't want to be filmed is actually, to me, a positive in his defense. Like, that probably means he's more of like a real person than someone like Ink, who was a radio personality that really wanted to be on camera. Um, and poor Gordon. The funniest thing that happened last night to me was Kay said this is elder abuse. The way Mia was doing Gordon was elder abuse. That was hilarious to me and true. It's funny because it's true. Elder abuse. So yeah, so that is my commentary. I'm definitely looking forward to the wrap up, the finale of Potomac. And then you guys know, after we wrap up to Potomac, we're right back. We're in Atlanta, right? And so that's going to be interesting. In fact, you know what? I have something that I want to show you guys. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. All right. I just had to make sure you guys know sometimes the network does not allow me to pull videos over as quickly as I would like to. But I just wanted to make sure I could show you guys what this season for Real Housewives of Atlanta is going to be a very telling season, just because of all the drama that happened over the last 2 seasons and the ratings dropped really low. So Nene is not coming back. So all the Nene Leaks fans out there that have been, you know, begging and pleading for Nene to come back, that's not going to happen. Anytime you sue Bravo, you sue the company that gave you your big break, it's probably not a good idea and probably would guarantee that you won't get an opportunity to come back. So we can let that go. I also don't, I don't see Kim coming back, Kim Zolciak. I don't see how she would fit. I think that when Kim was first on the show, they thought they needed a token white girl. And I think Atlanta has proven that you don't need that. So I don't really see where she would fit in. At this point, she doesn't have any relationships with the women, and the show has really taken a different turn. So Nene's not coming back. Kim is probably not coming back. Marlo is gone. She may make an appearance, but actually, if Marlo made an appearance on the show, it would really make her look bad because she was kept as a friend for for decades. For decades. And then she made it to having a peach, and then she tricked that off. She fumbled the bag. And now she's not on the show at all. So I really can't see them bringing her back as a friend of the show. We know that Candy Burris left the show. So we don't have Nene. We don't have Candy. We don't have Kim. We don't have, this season, we don't have Sheree. I think people just were over Sheree. She just never really gave what the producers were hoping that she would give. The Chateau Sheree, it just was bad. It was a lot of bad things happening. And then that brief stint with her dating Martell Holt, that was weird. It didn't work for her. That didn't work for him. That didn't work at all. But my point is, you have a lot of new blood coming in, and you have the OGs of Real Housewives of Atlanta leaving and not coming back. So Candy, who was a staple there for years, I think Candy was on there longer than anyone else, right? And she's gone. We have Cynthia Bailey, who is back as a friend only, but at least that's a little bit of continuity. Drew is back this season, but it's crazy because a lot of people don't think Drew should be on because Drew also has been caught in quite a few tall tales. We do have Portia coming back just in time for this ridiculous divorce from the man that she met on the show with the other young lady that was supposed to be her friend, that she started dating while he was still married to her, and they got engaged while he was still married to the other young lady. So it's just a lot of messiness. Now, Portia's Family Matters did not do well, but I do think Portia will always do well on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's pretty, she's Atlanta, really, it's just, she's pretty, you know what I mean? And so, and she's entertaining to watch. Shamia, who has been a friend of the show for years, they have moved up to a principal character, and they've also brought 2 more principal characters on, which is Kelly and Britt Edie. Now, I had a chance to talk to Kelly. It wasn't a video interview because I actually was getting my hair locked. So I was like, let me just do this on the phone. But this is Kelly, and she says that people are going to see her being fierce. She is a restaurateur here. She has a restaurant titled Nana's Chicken and Waffles. We talked a little bit about that. That was kind of birthed in her growing up watching her grandmother and her mother cook. Married a wealthy guy, 11 years later, divorcing wealthy guy. Now she's single. And she said, 3 words to describe her would be fierce, food, and fun. I got a feeling she's going to kick things up a little bit. Also, she was friends with Britt Edie, who is like a big time socialite here. She calls herself a self-proclaimed Barbie. It's just going to be interesting because it's a lot of new blood. Also, Angela Oakley, who is married to a former pro basketball player. And she's, this is a lot of new faces to add to a franchise that's been around forever. And the viewers have really bonded with those other characters. So I don't know what is going to happen this season. I'm not really sure how the reception is going to be. I am going to let you guys know. I'm going to do a review on it for Collider. And of course, I'll share it with my audience how it goes. But I don't really know. I think that's a lot. That's really risky. It's either going to score really big or it's going to fail really badly. But bringing in 3 new characters as principal characters, and then also taking Shamia, because I never really felt like I got to know Shamia. I felt like as a friend of the show, Shamia was always kind of in Portia's shadow. We never really saw her personality. So this is, for the most part, 4 new characters, right? And that's a lot for a series that really has a reputation and has a rhythm already. The only people that are coming back is Drew, Portia, and Cynthia Bailey is a friend of the show. And then I'm not really sure how they're going to handle the situation with Kenya, but we do know that Kenya is not a main principal character this season. So it's just going to be interesting. I think you take away the look and the identity of Housewives by losing Kenya and Candy, and Sheree. Like that's a lot. And then you have this new group, and then even Shamia, like I said, even though she was a friend for a long time, we didn't really get to know her that well. But Housewives of Atlanta has had a lot of women come and go and don't really stick. So introducing 3 to 4 new people is a huge risk. So we'll see. We'll talk about it every Monday. You guys let me know what you think. This comes out on March 9th. And I thought, let's go ahead and watch this trailer. And then you guys can let me know what you see that's interesting, if you see anything that is. I think there's a lot to unpack here. So let's just take a look and then talk about it.
Of Atlanta.
Hey! Ooh, ooh, ooh. Whatever you would like. I'm back, baby! Round of applause! All right! Ooh.
Ice cream looking good, that royalty flag.
I have played the underdog when I can outshine the best of them.
I'm serving face, I'm serving body, I'm a Barbie.
Oh, yes. You heard the sex in the engine?
Put your leg down. Doing too much.
People would describe me as a good time. little spicy, a little feisty.
You was trolling me, bitch.
Bitch, I was giving you what you was coming for.
I am married to NBA legend Charles Oakley. Let me make this clear. I'm married to a celebrity. My DMs are flooded.
Ooh, I'm twirling on my haters.
We want to party. Let's go. And it don't have to be a twerk. I mean, I can twerk.
Cause it's all about the money, money, money.
What the
You could find me from
The best thing about girls trips is the camaraderie.
You know what a point of reference is?
You cut me off, Portia.
Can we just put a button in this because we got the Prime Minister coming?
This is the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Read the room.
I'm reading the room.
You're not. You should be ready whenever.
Whoa.
Because you already know it's coming.
Dennis is serving as my executive producer.
Dennis? Yes.
You think I'm banging Drew?
Yes or no?
So who is this hoe?
Britt Edie is her name.
It couldn't go any lower.
She thinks this is okay.
That was Kenya's choice to twirl on down to hell.
I don't think she came back out.
Now, I heard something about Charles.
She's talking about my husband. And then she was like, you know what? I should Charles.
If you don't take it on back with that 99 nose, don't do that.
Okay, Flavor Flav.
Why did you guys even get a divorce?
He took almost $500,000.
Oh.
The frauding, the scamming. It makes you think how much of it was real.
I'm trying to make music so that I can buy a Rolls Royce because I heard yours might be repoed soon.
Oh, God.
I just had an ectopic pregnancy. That was the scariest thing ever.
You got to watch the dog that brings the bone.
I would like to express the things that have hurt me in our friendship. You're young. Am I boring you?
They're just coming in with grenades. Woo! Lord have mercy. Go down. Yep. Okay.
And now you blowing the booty.
Juicy.
Phaedra.
You gotta love Atlanta. Atlanta just has its own identity. It's so much. Atlanta is really the Black LA. Like a lot of fakeness, a lot of augmentation. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I do want to say Phaedra I expect Phaedra to come back as a full housewife by next season. Her little exit from Married to Medicine was kind of forced. I don't know if you guys watched that last night, but she has this new boyfriend that is not very much older than her sons. No, no shade, because there's nothing wrong with, she's single, she can do what she wants. He's definitely of age. He's not a child. It just looks a little silly because it's like, this is not going to work out. But the weird thing is that he's friends with Apollo, her ex-husband, and he and Apollo were like, I don't know if it's like curated Married to Medicine storyline, but it's just ridiculous. And neither the whole city of Atlanta is not a reality show. It's not, I promise it's not. It's just what gets publicized is. Like, that is why I live in the country and got my hair locked to prove like I'm not. Everybody is not living in a reality show. It's not. Everyone is not aspiring to that, that aesthetic, but it is a big part of what people think of when they think of the city. Hopefully you guys can think of some other things. We're trying, and there's a lot of other things going on here, but that is, like I said, that is the reputation of the city. That is the brand of Atlanta. It's very, aesthetically driven and materialistic, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting. But yeah, so Apollo, and this is Apollo should lose Serene. She married him to get on TV. Is Apollo on TV? I mean, he's on TV with Phaedra, which was really weird. That whole thing was very strange. But I expect Phaedra to go back to Housewives. And I did an article a few weeks ago, and I basically was like, Phaedra likes being the smartest woman in the room, right? On Housewives, hands down, she's the smartest woman in the room. Smartest. She's a lawyer. When I interviewed Kelly, she was like, Phaedra can defend you. she can bury you, and she can gather you up. You know what I mean? Like she's definitely miles ahead some of the other women because she has that lawyer background. She has I guess she's a funeral director, but she's a career girl, but she also knows how to play the materialistic vixen. You know what I mean? That appeals to reality TV. So, but on Married to Medicine, she's not the smartest girl in the room because Dr. J and even Dr. Heavenly, who doesn't always act at her IQ, those women are like beasts, intellectual beasts. So you can't really run some of the games that you can run on Housewives on Married to Medicine. It's not the same landscape, right? So I think that's why Phaedra wants to play in a pool where she's the biggest or has the biggest brain. The only person that could probably go toe to toe with her intellectually on the Housewives was Kenya, and you guys noticed they didn't get along, right? So they Kenya is very smart and very pretty and very has all that, but her and Phaedra were like this because I think they're the same type of girl, right? The rest of the girls are just I'm pretty and I want money and wear like labels, you know. But on Married to Medicine is like we're attractive, we can buy the labels for real. We bring like it's a whole different energy, and so unless you have a little substance, it's not going to stick. And I think for Phaedra, it's just an easier lift on the Housewives. You know what I mean? And the ratings are probably bigger, and she's got more of a, you know, it's a total different type of fame. Real Housewives of Atlanta has a different type of pop cultural impact than Married to Medicine does. So I get it. So I expect to see Phaedra as a principal character next season. She definitely has the Real Housewives starter kit with the blonde tresses and the lips and the, you know, designer duds and all that, and the younger boyfriend. You know, there also is an upcoming show where Ashley and Giselle are dating. That's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see that because I'm interested to see Giselle open up and show some vulnerability. We've never seen Giselle do that. We just see Giselle as this gorgeous woman who, you know, is usually the prettiest woman in the room, but we've never got a chance to see her like how she feels and what, like, we know that she's dating this dude, but like, what does that even look like? She just doesn't show much. So I'm hoping that we'll get a chance to actually see Giselle, you know, this time. Druzy says they were talking about Color 613 on the Potomac reunion. Yes, I saw that. And it's funny because 613 is almost like, and I say this about Wendy. And I know people probably, you know, may disagree with me, but I stand on it. Wendy is a smart girl. She's like one of those Married to Medicine ladies. She's an accomplished, she's a beast, but she dumbs herself down so much to be on this show. So I did this article, Karen Huger and Wendy Osifo's friendship was born out of desperation. So what we have going on here, which is, you know, this breakdown of their friendship when Karen sent in her video to thank everybody but Wendy, right? At the reunion, people were like, why does Karen not like Wendy? Well, Karen never really cared for Wendy. She can't use Wendy because Wendy is not like a girl that doesn't have her own thing going on. Wendy has everything. She has degrees. She has the husband that she actually is happy with. She has the children. She has the prestige. She actually has the money. Like, and Karen doesn't like that because Karen is a fake. Karen is a fraud. Karen has a husband that she probably didn't really want to be with because she's been cheating on him, and we all know that. Like, you know, that's just like understood watching the show that Karen has this whole other life. You know, she's alcoholic. Like, it's just a lot going on with Karen, and that lets us know that she's not who she claims to be. She puts on this mask of like the grande dame and this ambassador for Surrey County, and it's like, lady, come on, you come on, lady. Come on, lady. It's ridiculous. But Wendy, she used Wendy because guess what? Wendy was one of the only people that was strong enough to stand up to Giselle. Again, Wendy wants to be their friend. She wants to win them over. It's kind of like the smart girl in school that wants to be friends with the popular girls, right? So the smart girl will downplay herself in order to fit in with the popular girls. And that's what Wendy's doing. But even though you're dumbing yourself down, you still aren't going to go to a certain level because she just has too much. So she actually, bucked back at Giselle, and most people kind of treat Giselle like the real grand dame. That's really what it is. People really look at Giselle like that more than Karen. But in any case, I think Karen liked the fact that, Wendy was going at her arch nemesis, because for years, the only person that Karen really could never totally win over was Giselle, because Giselle really knows Karen. Giselle and Charisse, and you see what happens with Charisse. She does not like Charisse. She didn't want Charisse on the show. She can't stand Charisse because Charisse knows the truth, that there's nothing grand about that dom. Nothing grand about the dom. And so Wendy, when Wendy made up with Giselle and they started being friends, then Karen realized, I don't need her. I don't really want to be friends with her. She doesn't really respect her. And, she just kicked her to the curb, which was unfortunate because I think Wendy really was trying to be Karen's support system. But Wendy said, I can see she's not my friend. I'm over it. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens when Karen returns, because I can't imagine Karen's probably not going to be gone the entire season. The entire upcoming season, she's probably not on payroll, but I will bet anything that Karen will not stay away from the cameras, because it is really her identity. So she's probably going to show up in a couple of the scenes from this upcoming season, because I just can't see her staying away from the show. Like that is so who she wants to be. And she's not going to want to stay home with Ray and not be on camera. So I predict Karen will make a resurgence in this next season, that she's supposed to be gone. She's supposed to be in rehab. Child, that grand dame ain't gonna stay away from them cameras. But I think out of all the ladies, Wendy probably has the lifestyle, because she's really an accomplished PhD. She's a political analyst. Like, Wendy is that chick. I think people will respect her more if she stopped trying to fit into the dumb, ditzy, blonde 613 mold. Like, just be the smart girl. But see, our culture is so backwards, because the smart girl is usually not the pretty girl. And the smart girl would want to give up all her honor roll grades if she could be the pretty girl. And then the pretty girl gets the guy, and then, doesn't know what to do with it. And let's hope you hold on to that pretty. Let's hope we hold on to the pretty, because if we lose the pretty, there's nothing underneath there. At least with a smart girl, you can get your own, you can kind of maneuver on your own. But, such is the way. Yes, Wendy is Nigerian, Edna. Wendy is Nigerian. So that is my take on that. The last part of Potomac, part 3, will be on Sunday. So we'll be checking that out to see what happens. But I just predict that Stacey is going to have to really figure out how to bring herself back after this disgraceful first introductory season. I want to see Mia held to the fire. Kudos to Giselle. I actually think I like Giselle this season without Robin. Maybe having a puppet was holding her personality back. I like it. I like Giselle without Robin on this season. And so I hope we can continue to see more of that, specifically when we see her dating. Like, I want to just see more Giselle's personality. Her children are gone. We know her first priority was to her girls. Her girls are in college. So she should really be able to show us some Giselle. Like, what's up under there? What's going on? Ashley is finally divorced. We don't know what the hell Ashley is doing. She is exploring her sexuality. She is supposedly paying her own bills. Do we believe that? I don't, not for one bit. Ashley's interesting. Very interesting. Kay and her dude, I think she's just so pretty. She can just, I don't know what substance she's going to have, because we don't get much of that from her this first season, because Stacey took all the foolishness and folly. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Now, before I get out of here, there's 2 things I want to talk about. The first is Married at First Sight. Okay. I don't know who saw this last week. I'm going to do a live on it tomorrow. Because I can't take it. But don't even know where to start. So this, and you know, I've talked about Michelle and David and the Michelle, David, Madison, Allen, Kerfunkel thing. But this last scene with MM and Akichi really irritated me because it proved to me all over again that experts really need to be fired. I don't know why they keep dragging this stuff out. It's making people leave with more emotional scars than they showed up with. It's ridiculous. Akichi comes to the meeting late, as usual, as per usual. MM is already there. The experts are just now waking up to question him about why he showed up to the couples retreat with a divorce paper. But I give it up to MM for this. I did think her speech was a little bit much. It seemed like someone that had really been in a real relationship. And I don't think Akichi gave her any reason to feel like they were in a relationship at all. Like, he was not kind to her. He was not caring with her. He was not even fair with her. So I'm not sure why she was so hurt, except for maybe she just doesn't like to lose. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't like to lose either, girl. I don't, you know, type A personalities, alpha females, we don't like to lose. I get it. But for her to be that filled with vitriol towards Akichi, like, he was annoying, right? But she started this letter, and she's like, I wish you the worst. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at her wishing him the worst. I don't wish you the best, I wish you the worst. But then she just kept saying how, you know, he didn't give her a chance and he just was full of lies. And he is, all those things. But what bothered me is that she let him get to her that badly. And the reality is they never really bonded. So where is all this energy coming from? They never bonded. He's an idiot. Like, he's a jackass. Like, he is an F-boy. All those things he is, right? But you can't be really that hurt over Akichi. Like, you cannot. You just can't. I just don't believe it. And then when you couple that with the fact that she recently announced that she was engaged during Christmas, like, you obviously weren't that into him. You couldn't have been. He didn't give you a chance. He did not give you a chance to be into him. He was just never okay. He said that she was aggressive. He said that she kept trying to force herself on him physically. Like, he didn't give her anything to connect with. So the fact that usually when someone is hurt is because their feelings were taken advantage of. But I just don't see how MM had any feelings connected with Akichi. Like, he didn't give her anything. And I think that's the problem with a lot of times with us women. You can't just assume, add man, and all of a sudden, you know, there's a relationship. Like, no, you can't be that hung up on someone that never was there. This is the most connection that they had, taking these pictures. And I think he feels like he doesn't have any sense of self. None. The way he talked negatively about her because he saw her apartment, and so it made him feel depressed and, you know, just, I mean, he has no sense of self, right? He probably thinks he's a okay looking brother. But really when you add his attitude in, he's very unattractive. So, but outside of them taking some pictures together, he never gave her anything to hold on to. So I didn't understand why she kept giving him chance after chance after chance. I think with the men, she just doesn't like to lose. And I think this was an opportunity to win when it came to having a relationship. And I think that's what hurt her. It wasn't him. It was the idea. That idea versus reality is a mug, y'all. It is crazy. The idea versus the reality is always going to hang people up that don't have any concept of what it takes to make a real relationship. And it's not about anything other than a real connection with that person. Like, how can you be sad over something, or bitter or hurt over someone that never showed any real interest in you? I mean, and I will say, like, her cousin called it in the beginning. You guys remember when the cousin was like, I don't know. The cousin was kind of rude to him, and I didn't understand why. And then as the time went on, I was like, the cousin saw it, because men can usually see through other men, just like women can see through other women. But I did think it was funny for her to say, I wish you the worst, because I think that whole idea of saying, well, I wish you the best, that sounds good, but we don't really wish our exes the best until you get healed, right? So I could say honestly now, I do wish all my exes the best, maybe except for one. But no, seriously, I do wish them the best, because I'm healed and I'm okay and I'm happy and I'm not hurt and I have closure and all that good stuff. But when you don't have that, then you don't wish them the best. But I don't know how men would not have it, because they weren't really a couple. Just like I think it's ridiculous that Michelle is doing all this acting, all these theatrics, when you hated him. You were disgusted by his face. You did not like any part of him at all. So why are you even hurt over that at all? It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, that show, the cousin was rude, but maybe he saw this. Maybe he saw that Akichi was an F-boy and he called it out beforehand. You know, maybe he, obviously something was the case. What's up, Scorpio Mo? Obviously something was the case, because he was right. And that Akichi was probably one of the more rude men on this series. There have been quite a few, but he definitely deserves to place in the top 5. Michelle is a mean girl and needs therapy. And again, to me, the way she was willing to throw Alan's feelings under the bus for her own, she never considered that Alan was actually genuinely, down for it, and Alan, now see, Alan is different than a mem, right? Because Madison actually tried to fake the funk with Alan. Like, she took him shopping. He kept saying, are you sure that you're open to giving this a chance? And she kept saying yes. Akichi never said any of that. In fact, he wouldn't even show up. When he did, he wouldn't look at her. Like, it was not the same thing at all. I understand why Alan was hurt, because he actually was told that he had a chance, and he was really trying to impress, Madison. But Akichi and Mem, he never gave her a chance. Same thing with David and Michelle. Michelle wants to tell this lie that she was trying. Girl, you were not trying, and we know you were not trying. You did not care. You were so happy when he sent you that text, because it gave you an out and it gave you a chance to paint him as the villain, when really you were the villain from the time you started to hyperventilate at the wedding when you learned that he lived with his parents. What I really believe, and no one will ever be able to tell me differently, is that he looked a little too ethnic for her and she did not like it. I think she didn't like the way he looked, because she'd actually told the experts that if someone didn't have their own place, she was open. And think about it, her place was an apartment. But the fact, I just don't think that you would hyperventilate over someone staying in their parents' basement at your wedding. Like, that's, and if that is the case, you need some serious therapy. Like, we need to get you into some therapy. If that causes you to have that type of reaction to where you're in tears over someone living in their parents' basement and they don't have any children and they have a loving family and the family says they wanted him to stay there, that makes you hyperventilate. You're not ready for anything, marriage, love, or relationship, nothing. You just need to be by yourself. So that is my take on that. There is more to come. Like I said, I have a review coming up from Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you guys are watching this on the replay, make sure you let me know what you think about that trailer. Who do you think is going to be a standout housewife this season? I definitely think that Portia is going to carry most of the show. Drew, that's a weird storyline, her going to connect with Portia's ex, Dennis, for him to be her producer with her music. Like, maybe that was just a way for Dennis to stay on the show, because I think he liked being on the show too. I think that, maybe that's just a way for Dennis to stay on the show, because Dennis has his hands in a lot of different businesses. I don't know of him being a music producer. And there are so many music producers here in Atlanta. if Drew really wanted to do music, and she is doing music, but if she really was, then she would have found another. I mean, Brian Michael Cox is here, like Bangladesh is here, like Polo Don is here. Like it's real producers here. If you really wanted someone to work with you, you would have gotten one of them and not Dennis. That's good for the story, I guess. I mean, you know, but I just don't know that adding 4 new faces is going to go down smoothly for Real Housewives of Atlanta fans. I don't know how that's going to work. Before I get out of here tonight, I want to invite you, if you are in Atlanta, if you're in Atlanta, put a 1 in the chat if you're in Atlanta, because I have something special for you to attend. I am doing a book conversation tomorrow at the Eagle Eye Bookshop in Decatur, 2076 North Decatur Road. Eagle Eye Bookshop, myself and Casey Mills are having a conversation about damage in relationships. And it's based on her new novel that is being released tomorrow. I want you to be my personal guest. If you are one of the XO family, you can be my personal guest. For regular patrons, they will have to pay a entry fee. But for the XO family, if you come, you let me know that you're one of the viewers, you can get access for free. You can come out, hang out with me, KC, take pictures, and we're giving away some really cool gifts to every single person that comes. 7 to 9, so you won't be out late. Just, you know, some real adult conversation, some fun sisterhood time. I definitely would love to have anyone that is a part of the XO family as my personal guest on tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're interested, actually, you could just show up. It's on my Instagram page. I'm getting ready to put it on my YouTube page as well, but that is the address. Please be there. If you are coming, please be there on time because we have gifts for everyone and we have actual like reading and conversation, and we don't want people coming in because it kind of throws the vibe off. So please make sure that you come out and just, you know, have some fun on a Tuesday night in Atlanta. It can go up on a Tuesday here. I will be back on Wednesday, of course, with Scorpio Mo for Dating Diaries. And we have an interesting conversation slated for Wednesday about how much is too much to share. Should you tell a new person how many people you have been with? Should you tell them all about your history with past relationships? Should you be willing to share a bank account? Should you be willing to share your passcodes? What is sharing caring? Or should we keep a little bit back? Should we hold a little bit back? So that's the conversation for Wednesday. And then on Friday, we're right back with Ready to Love. You guys, this season is really good. Philadelphia is bringing it. I think that Will Packer had some intel and knew Philly was going to win the Super Bowl and that it was the perfect comeback season for Ready to Love. These singles are interesting. It is definitely, I think it's definitely a great switch up from Texas. Very different attitudes, very different energy with the men and the women. So I'm excited. Our conversations have been really, really good. And I'm excited. So we have a couple of Ready to Love guests that may join us on Friday from time to time and just kind of give their perspective on the show. So make sure you guys are tuned in. We've been having a really good time. If you missed it, I feel sorry for you. Make sure you tune in. If you're watching this on the replay, let me know what you think about Real Housewives of Potomac. If you were feeling Mia's foolishness and her getting up, walking out, storming out, let me know what you think about Emem Akichi. Did you feel like Emem's letter was befitting of his crime, or do you think that she took it a little bit? She put the 10 on the 2 just a bit. Also, let me know what you think of the upcoming season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I will tell you all, after talking with Miss Kelly, I feel like Kelly is going to be a spitfire. Kelly is recently divorced. She is juggling motherhood with her restaurant, with trying to be a hot girl in Atlanta. So I just got a sneaky suspicion. And she also dropped some tea on the rest of her castmates. So tune in next week because the article that I did on that is coming out this week. And so I'll cover that next Monday. She gave me a little behind the scenes intel on her thoughts about the rest of the cast. And so I'm interested to see what you all think of her assessments of her castmates. But I got a feeling that Miss Kelly Farrell is going to be one of the Spitfires kicking up some dust this season on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Lastly, like I said, make sure if you are in Atlanta, you come out tomorrow if you have some time and you're into good conversation, good literature. It's going to be a fun time. We have some amazing women coming out, women that I know really well that have already confirmed to come out. There are free gifts for every single woman that comes. And trust me, you'll meet some good, cool people. So go ahead and come out and join us. Get off work, go home, put on some lipstick, and come out and have some fun with some sisters as we wrap Black History Month up with a little literature. I would definitely love to see you all, and I love being able to post pictures with my XO family. And I'm going to get out here. I'm getting ready to go braid this hair up so I can try to create some type of style. I'm still kind of learning how to style my locks, but it sounds like I'm going to be going through a lot of different stages. I don't know what to expect, but I'm glad that you guys are here. So many people have been encouraging. So many people that have locks have been encouraging about their personal journey. So I appreciate that. If you have anything to share, you guys know you can always DM me on Instagram, or you can always leave comments here, and I see those as well. So as always, thank you guys for watching. Sugar Pie, you want to tell them bye? Sugar Pie? Okay, she is knocked out. She is having a hard time with this pregnancy. She is having a hard time. Jersey said, Christal, talk about David and Madison's brother-in-law. First of all, was that not the weirdest thing, period? The weirdest thing, for those of you that may not know, Madison, first of all, let's just talk about Miss Madison real quick before I get out of here. Madison told the experts that she did not want to date outside of her race. She did not. So they gave her a good old-fashioned vanilla white boy, an Alan, right? She was not attracted to Alan. She thought he was lame. And she started dating David, the most ethnic person on the show, even more than Akichi, you know. Come to find out, her sister's band looks like a carbon copy of David. Carbon copy. So it's very strange that, number one, she told the experts that she did not feel comfortable dating outside of her race. And then all of a sudden, literally the picture of her brother-in-law, I thought it was David. I literally thought it was David. Like, they look that much alike. I also want to remind you guys that David is a real serious bodybuilder competitor. Like, he's done like competitions and stuff like that. So he's really into physical fitness. And so is Madison, obviously. She's really into physical fitness as well. But I just thought that was strange that she first said, and the experts called her out about it last week. Like, how do you go from not wanting to date a person that's outside of your race, not feeling comfortable, to having a whole affair with one, and then your sister is with a guy that looks just like him? Are they trying to create, like, that's weird. It's very, very strange. But Madison, it's also interesting that on this upcoming episode tomorrow, which I can't wait to see. Like I said, I'm going to go live afterwards because I have to. Well, I'll be at the book signing, but afterwards, when I come back and watch it, I'm going to go live about it, and I'll have it here on the page for you guys. But Madison acts like she's upset with Michelle. Now, trust me, I can't stand Michelle. I want her gone. She makes me cringe when I see, her on the screen. But what would Madison be mad about? Girl, like, she's like, are you ready to do this? You want to do this? And I'm like, girl, you need to be quiet. First of all, you didn't even want. And David is so enamored with blonde hair and blue eyes, or blonde hair and brown eyes, that he doesn't even care about the fact that this woman said she did not want to date a man of color. he has some identity issues. You know, to me, whenever a man prefers something that is 100% different than who he is, like I understand if you fall in love with someone, but when you prefer that, that's weird to me. But for him to prefer that and then just be super excited because he got one like that, and then not to at all be concerned about her not feeling comfortable with a person of color, that's very strange. Now, I know everyone has seen that they were seen out at a game together, but that doesn't mean it's going to work. That does not mean by the time we get to the reunion for this MAP Chicago, they will still be together. And usually when people get together like that, it doesn't work. Just the rules of nature won't allow it to work. When you get with someone based on those type of that type of foundation, it never works. There are few people, but when you lie and you're like, it just doesn't. It just you're starting on a shaky foundation, and it's not going to last. Y'all see my baby is struggling back here. She is sugar pie. My poor child. My poor child is struggling back here with this pregnancy. You guys remember how she used to be when I would say her name? She would wiggle her tail. Like she is, what is happening right now? Oh my gosh. But the good thing is she hopefully, I'll keep you guys posted when she has her first prenatal exam. We will share with the family. But yeah, she hasn't had, the vet hasn't come yet, but I talked to the vet and the vet told me that if her nipples are engorged, that meant she was pregnant. So I was giving her a bath yesterday, and her little girls are just as full as they want to be. Yes, Naomi, you missed it. A couple of weeks ago, Sugar Pie was in heat, and she escaped. She escaped. This little Chihuahua came to our house. My mom was here with her, wasn't sure what was going on, and Sugar Pie escaped with her man. And then she came back 4 hours later with her dress over her head. Yeah, she was on the run, and then she left again. She left again. She didn't just leave one time. She left again. And I thought I showed you guys those pictures, but it was ridiculous because her dress, she had this little cute dress on, and she came back and the dress was over her head. And now, hey, what? She can't even get, bless her heart. And dogs, did you guys know that dogs' gestational period is only like 90 days? So we will probably have puppies before the summer, probably like May. So this is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. You guys are along for the ride. You guys, dog niece is having morning sickness or something. She's been drinking so much water. It is hilarious. She just can't get enough water. I don't know what this lethargic situation is. This is not her. But yeah, so I'll keep you guys posted. Anybody out there that is going through a similar situation, please let me know how it goes. If anyone has ever had puppies with a dog, this is my first time ever having a dog that was pregnant. I'm a little intimidated by it, but this is my baby girl, so we're going to be just fine. I don't know that Sugar Pie was taken advantage of because Sugar Pie did run out after him at top speed and would not come back. And then when he came to the door the next day, he was laying out on our porch waiting for her, and she was crying for him at the front door, crying to go out with him. So I don't know necessarily that she was taken advantage of. If anything, they may have taken advantage of each other. But what I do know is that the dog came back to the house, and he was, for 3 days, he kept showing up on our front doorstep and would not leave. And now that, you know, she's out of heat, he's not showing up anymore, but she is having a whole day. You guys see this, like, this is not how Sugar Pie usually is. She is just, my God. I mean, I know that feeling. Most of us know that feeling, but yes, I don't think she knew what awaited her. D, I don't think she did. However, what I do know is because she left with him twice, that whatever happened, she was all for it. He did not force her to go. Sugar Pie took off of her own free will and would not come back. Yeah, and now he's gone. He's gone. Adrian told his owners to please keep him away. But at this point, the damage is done. So we have Mini Poodle and Mini Poodle and Chihuahua puppies on the way. This was not the plan. And I hope, we'll see. We'll see. I tried to talk to the vet about the morning after pill, but the vet said that it actually can make dogs more sick than anything else. Yes, Druzy Kane did. Her big brother did try to save her, but she didn't want to be saved. She didn't want to be saved. She did not want to be saved. And now look at you. Hey, y'all, look, Sugar Pie. Sugar Pie. She looks tortured. Y'all see her? Oh my God. My poor baby. My poor baby. So Gun Boss says that he is working. He is working to pay puppy support so that we can take care of these babies, because I don't know what they're doing to my baby girl right now. She looks like she has been rode hard and put away wet. This is not my dog. Bless her heart. So y'all pray for us. Pray for us. Pray for us. Pray for us. And we'll be back on Wednesday. I'll give you guys updates as we go through this together. We will go through the mini Bichon Poo pregnancy together. And yes, Edna says, would that crossbreed be in demand? Probably not. Probably not. This was not planned. No, probably not. What I will say is the dogs will be super little. And I did look up what a mini poodle and chihuahua look like. It could go one of two ways. It could look like a chihuahua, which is not my favorite, or it could look like Sugar Pie, which is super cute. I don't know what to expect. I don't know. We're just going through this together. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I do know the girl that locked my hair. She said she wants one of the puppies because she wants a little dog. If you want a little dog, I got you. But I don't know what the little dogs are going to look like. We don't know what little. It'll be little. That's all we got. Little cute, maybe. Little funny looking, could be. Little ugly, could be that too. We don't know. We don't know. But, keep us in prayer. We love you all. Thank you for tuning in to Grace and Gossip. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. Next week, I'll be back with more articles and more info, more intel, more grace, more gossip, more talk. And of course, tune in on Wednesday where Mo and I will get to the bottom of relationships and what is oversharing. Is there any such thing as oversharing? All right. I love you guys for watching. Please leave an XO. Please like and share this conversation, and I will see you guys next time. All right. Have a good one.